Toronto. Exactly 1 year ago, while pitching for the Seattle Mariners, Sam Gaviglio was shelled by the Oakland Athletics. He gave up 7 runs on 9 hits that day, including a 3-run Khris Davis bomb that traveled awfully far, and a Bruce Maxwell solo shot moments later that went even farther. The outing pushed his season ERA to 4.31. After the game, the Mariners demoted Gaviglio to AAA, where he spent the majority of the next 2 months before Kansas City plucked him off waivers. He finished his season pitching mop-up duty out of the Royals' bullpen. Sonny Gray watched Gaviglio's disastrous start from Oakland's dugout. He'd pitched for the Athletics the night prior and done so extremely well, holding the Chicago White Sox to 2 runs on 3 hits over 6 steady innings. It was his 3rd quality start in a row, and part of an 11-outing run in which Gray posted a 1.95 ERA. Midway through that stretch, he was traded to the New York Yankees and helped his new team reach the playoffs. He finished his season with 5 strong innings in Game 4 of the ALCS. It's not like the two 28-year-olds have reversed roles in the 365 days since. But things do look awfully different today. And the fact that Gaviglio outpitched Gray by a considerable margin Friday night at Rogers Center is certainly not something one could have predicted a year ago, or even months ago. Gaviglio was steady, allowing only 1 earned run over 4.1 innings against MLB's 3rd most prolific offense. Meanwhile, Gray combusted, throwing 62 pitches over 2 calamitous innings, allowing 5 runs on 6 hits and not returning for the 3rd. Those 2 outings laid the groundwork for what was eventually a 6-2 Blue Jays victory. And while we're at it, let's play a game. Which one of these pitchers is Gray, the 2015 All-Star with a career 3.45 ERA over 123 starts coming into this season, and which one is Gaviglio, the soft-tossing journeyman who entered 2018 with a 4.36 ERA across his 16 Major League appearances? GSIP ERA WHIP K, 9 BB, 9 GB percent BAA Player A 1784.25.85 1.518.194.04 47.7.271 Player B 952.03.811 1.208.83 2.94 50.235 If you've been following the arc, you've no doubt surmised Player A is Gray and Player B is Gaviglio. While Gray has pitched more at the major league level this season, thanks to not spending the first 6 weeks of his year in the minors like Gaviglio did, he hasn't been nearly as effective as Gaviglio. And Friday was no different. After striking out Russell Martin to escape a bases-loaded jam in the first, Gray allowed 3 of the first 4 batters he faced in the second to reach, watching a pair of runs score in the process. He struck out Teoscar Hernandez for a 2nd out, but then put 2 runners on before spinning an 0-1 slider right over the plate for Justin Smoak. The Blue Jays' first baseman hit that slider so hard he'd barely left the batter's box by the time it reached the right field seats. It took only 4.5 seconds to travel 404 feet. The Blue Jays had 5 runs before Gray had his 6th out. Gaviglio, meanwhile, made the Yankees' imposing lineup look anything but. He struck out a pair in the first, and another in the second, allowing only a single and 2 walks to reach. He surrendered a 2-out solo shot to Aaron Hicks in the 3rd, but got the next batter, some guy named Giancarlo Stanton, to strike out chasing a slider. He returned to pitch a perfect 4th, inducing a pair of ground balls before striking out Greg Bird. Gaviglio did run out of steam in the 5th, loading the bases thanks to a pair of soft singles and a fielding error by 3rd baseman Yanger Vasilarte. He then walked in a run before he was lifted at 101 pitches, replaced by Joe Biagini, who struck out Stanton and got a line out from Didi Gregorius to keep the runners right where they were. But considering the quality of the opposition he was facing Friday, and how low reasonable expectations were for Gaviglio when he was acquired from the Royals for cash near the end of spring training, this is pretty promising stuff for the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays have to be wondering if they have something on their hands. Gaviglio's no one's ace. But he's been serviceable more often than not, and with an ERA sitting at 3.81 after 11 outings this season, he's looking pretty good for a fifth starter. If he keeps this up, he could be looking at a Major League swingman role next season at the very least. Gray, meanwhile, is a complete quandary for the Yankees, who surrendered 3 prospects, including 2 of their top 15 at the time per MLB.com's ranking, to acquire him. He's allowed 4 runs or more in 4 of his last 5 starts, and has completed 6 innings only 7 times this season. Friday was his shortest outing since 2016. Of course, this can only be good news for the Blue Jays, who hold the top starting pitcher known to be available ahead of July 31's non-waiver trade deadline. J.A. Happ. The Yankees' rotation is in clear need of an upgrade, and the club possesses an enviable stockpile of talent at the upper levels of the minors, which is why New York has been steadily linked to Happ for weeks. That speculation will only grow as Gray's struggles continue. And in Gaviglio, the Blue Jays may hold an intriguing piece for 2019. Of course, how he holds up over the final 2 months of the season will go a long way to determining that. He's still predominantly a 2-pitch pitcher, and neither of those offerings, an 89 mph sinker and 83 mph slider, are particularly devastating. But so far they've been effective. Results are results. And as long as Gaviglio keeps getting them, he'll continue proving that a lot can change in a year.